And we're live. Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Everybody.
Welcome to another episode of Consider This Movie Show. If you guys haven't noticed, we have a special guest here tonight. Over to Tim's right over there, we have Mike Piccolo. Say hi, Mike.
Hello.
And
Thank you for having me on.
Turn your attentions to the bottom corner of the screen. Our floating head over there is Steve Garcia. Steve, how's it going?
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Steve took the easy way out. I actually committed and drove almost 2 hours here.
Yeah, Steve's
and I'm
using
lazy.
Steve's
yeah,
using
we
the
know.
magic of the internet. Technology is available to him. Is he smarter? I don't know. So, welcome to the show, guys.
This is an historic episode today.
It is.
We're at number 10. We officially hit one of the greatest milestones that a podcast can hit in its entire life.
Double digits.
Episode 10. We've hit another digit.
Another
That doesn't
digit?
happen.
Another dollar?
Even like podcasts that
Another
hit
digit,
950
another dollar.
episodes, they only do that twice.
Yeah.
We did it once already.
We've done it
So
once.
We're halfway
so
there.
Here's to 3 digits, right?
Yeah, here's the 3 digits.
If we have any new viewers from our new videos last week, welcome to the show. This is a show where we talk about movie news, reviews, and just talk anything movies related.
Yeah.
So tonight we're going to be talking about the Academy Awards, the nominations that have just come out. The awards are in about a month. This is the 89th Academy Awards, for anyone at home who's wondering. And before
Talking
we get
double
into
digits.
that, we're also going to talk some movie news.
And the same amount of digits that we are.
Yeah, they're in double digits too. We might beat them to 90 before they get there. Yeah. I don't think so, though. But anyway.
2 a week? Is that a challenge?
It depends on the audience. If you guys
Oh,
want
gosh.
2 a week,
You want
vote
2 a week?
down below. And Tim, if I could just squeeze in right
4
here.
a week.
Typically every week we
I
do a
need to
movie
lose some
review and we give a movie away. This week we're not going to review anything, but we did find an Academy Award winner in our collection, Gosford Park. So if you guys want to win a used copy of Gosford Park on DVD, just remember to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. Without any further ado,
It's got to be exciting. It's
Yeah.
got a guy getting stabbed in the back with a pen.
It's a mystery
Cover.
movie, and it has a Blockbuster sticker on the front, if you guys remember Blockbuster at all.
Oh, God.
2001 when Blockbuster was peaking
I don't
and when this
remember
movie peaked.
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster was like my first love.
It's been so long, yeah, it is hard to remember it.
I
But,
just miss being able to like go there and like rent games. Like that was what I loved Blockbuster for a lot,
yeah.
especially. Yeah.
Oh, the games, yeah.
You're bringing back
Yeah,
back the feels, man.
There's like no red boxes where like we live in has. I don't know where there's a red box. I would like to use it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I've kind of just relegated to using the internet now,
Yeah, so
Netflix
I
and
mean-
streaming. But with that said, we're going to move on to our first piece of news. This is news you probably all know, but I want to get into it a little bit. We're going to be talking about Star Wars Episode 8. They announced their title this week. It's Star Wars The Last Jedi. Mike, what do you think of this title?
I like it. At the same time, like it's fun. Like I'm basing off stupid crap that I read off the internet, but it's like everybody's like, "Oh, Luke's gonna die" and all this other crap. Like, just Jedi means more than one person, so that doesn't mean anything. But
It's plural
Oh,
and singular.
plural.
That's an interesting point.
wait, you guys didn't realize that?
I didn't make that connection.
Yeah.
But that's...
I
I'm
heard-
gonna blow your friggin' minds right now. Then okay.
All right.
Okay.
But I mean, I think it's. I mean, for me, like names. I mean, I don't think it means anything. I just want to see what it looks like because more along the lines of because JJ's not directing it anymore. It's like I think it's cool that they're doing a new director each movie, but at the same time, I always have faith in JJ. So it's like I'm a little less excited about it, but until we actually see what it is, then I'm on the fence. I mean, it's a cool name, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. What about you, Steve? Are you excited about you care about the title? Do you care that they switched up directors?
I definitely like the whole director switching thing. I'm pretty sure the guy directing this one directed the Fly episode of the Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody
Yeah.
remembers that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. He directed what? I know what was it? Godzilla, I think he directed.
He directed Looper.
No, that was Rogue One. That was the guy that did
Oh, that
Rogue
was
One.
Gareth Evans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He directed Looper, and he also did one
Looper's
of the
good.
like second or third to last Breaking Bad episode, I think, right?
Ozymandias.
So yeah, I think that was him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Looper's a good movie. That was a surprising.
What about the title? Do you get any hidden meanings from The Last Jedi, Steve?
It is so crazy how fast people jump to conclusions with this stupid
Yeah, see,
title.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
But, you know, it could be anything. I like how they use the red font, so that, like, shows that it's going to be, like,
Yeah.
a little bit more dark.
Yeah, it definitely does give you
Maybe?
the darker, more ominous vibe. Hopefully, I mean, if they're keeping with tradition of like The Empire Strikes Back of this trilogy, then I'm assuming we're gonna go darker and even maybe a cliffhanger ending where the bad guys are ahead.
I feel weird not being able to see Steve's face, but it's okay. I got his sexy ass voice.
I can totally see with The Last Jedi them doing like an Empire type thing where maybe one of the characters you care about dies, or the First Order. Yeah. The First Order just ends up taking over kind of at the end. It seems like there's no hope. But what if they did crazy stuff that like it never done in Star Wars before? Like two of the main characters turn evil or turn against each other.
That's the thing. That's the thing I'm most excited for, is because I loved all the characters in Episode 7. Like,
what if Rey died and came back as a ghost? Like, I don't think any of these things
would be
fit in. But what if they did some crazy stuff that they have never even touched before in the Star Wars franchise?
I was listening.
Oh, I mean, there was ghosts in the original one.
Yeah, but never like the main.
But not
character.
cool ghosts like 2017
There hasn't been a
ghosts.
female ghost yet.
There hasn't been a female ghost yet.
My point exactly.
Yeah, we live in a world where women matter.
I was listening to Jenny Nicholson did a video today. She's a YouTuber who kind of does like theories. She was thinking maybe The Last Jedi means the Jedi Order is over. Maybe people are still Force sensitive and use the Force and the lightsabers.
I mean, you kind of got the sense of that from
maybe
7.
a new order of people, and the Jedi is like a relic of society. So that could be cool.
Maybe everyone's got a little bit of Force in them.
Because I mean, you do see how how backwards thinking and archaic the Jedi were in the prequels.
It's gonna be a plot twist, and everybody's gonna have the Schwartz.
Hey, Spaceballs 2, The Quest for More Money might be.
Is they actually going to be a thing?
I heard after Force Awakens they were definitely going to do it, and all the efforts kind of died down since then.
Oh my god!
I hope so.
I think it'll be a thing,
hilarious.
but Mel Brooks, right? I don't think
Brooks.
he's on his last legs. Probably.
Yeah,
he's like I think he's still like doing stuff.
Is he?
I think I don't know. I don't remember. The last thing I saw him in was like he did the Jerry Seinfeld. He has like that comedians and cars show.
Right.
He had him on,
and,
which is a great show by the way. But yeah, he had him and like Carl Reiner I think on, and just like listening to him talk about like old stuff. Like
that's a good duo.
Because I love Mel Brooks.
They've got a
Mel
lot
Brooks
of good
movies.
stuff under their belt.
But yeah, I love Mel Brooks. He's a good guy. I hope he does that. But at the same time, it's kind of weird.
So that's what we thought about Star Wars: The Last Jedi. If you guys have any predictions or thoughts, leave a comment below, or even on our Facebook page, leave a post. And now we're gonna jump into the Academy Awards nominations. Did anyone wake up and watch the nominations live?
I tried to. I had to go to work a little bit before the announcements.
I ended up seeing part of it live, but you guys, I know Mike actually hasn't seen the nominations yet.
Well,
only Best Picture, right?
I did. Well, I looked at it. I skimmed roughly.
Oh, you skimmed it at this point?
I saw. Yeah. I think I saw Best Picture like a little while ago, and then I briefly scrolled through everything. So
we're gonna get a live reaction right now.
Yeah,
I love these.
Man.
Most of the things I do on this show are live reactions.
I mean, I like winging it. I also like wings. Wings are good.
Yeah, there's more
buffalo wing it,
the better. So we're gonna jump right into talking about these. I did go through most of the list. I remember some of it. We're gonna start with some of the lesser things in the list, and we're gonna end off with Best Picture.
Guys, put your cell phones away.
We're also gonna talk about some of our discussion about what we think got snubbed, what are some surprises, and even some predictions. And as far as predictions go, Tim and I will be tracking our predictions either on here or somewhere else, and we'll be ranking and tallying those points for a future challenge. But
may update them a little bit as time goes on and we end up seeing all of the nominated movies, documentaries, features, hopefully.
And so forth. So we're going to start with the short film categories. As far as live action goes, I haven't seen any of these. Have you guys?
I have not.
I think it's going to be worth skipping, but if
I have not.
Curious, we put a link to the list in our description. But short film animated, have you guys seen Piper and Borrowed Time? I think those are the
saw
two.
Borrowed Time.
That's like the only one Borrowed Time is the only one I heard about. What's that, Steve?
I only saw the Piper. That's the
one before
right?
Finding Dory, right?
Yeah,
that one was really good. If I had to pick just based off
refresh my memory,
two I've seen, Little Bird digs his head in the sand to eat.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
I think just purely based on technical aspects of it.
Oh, it looked real.
Yeah,
that was cool. Like if we're going just for the technical route, like doing things that have never really been achieved before, I'd give it to Piper. But Borrowed Time was so good and emotional.
Yeah, Borrowed Time was really awesome.
I
do think Piper's going to take it, especially because it was the more well-known. I mean, we've all seen it here.
Yeah, it made $1 billion. So
the movie was attached
many
to
millions of people
money.
have seen Piper, so that's got that behind it.
All right, now that that's behind us, we're going to jump into sound editing and sound mixing. These two, I don't quite know the difference, but as far as I've been able to tell, sound editing is creating sound that wasn't there, and sound mixing is just mixing all those noises together. So for sound editing, we have Arrival, Deepwater Horizon, Hacksaw Ridge, La La Land, and Sully. Do you guys have a preference in this category? Anyone know any sound?
For sound,
any sound engineers?
I tried to learn about sound. It didn't work out very well. I mean, out of the ones I did, I actually just watched Deepwater Horizon the other night.
Yeah.
And I actually really liked it, but like I think a lot of the sound stuff that really goes along with that movie doesn't really happen until like when the last when stuff starts going down in that movie, which is really until like the last like 40-ish minutes of it, but other than that, like it was when it was done was cool. I think I probably would go. I mean, I want to say La La Land, but at the same time, it's it's La La Land. I think it could win for other stuff, but I really liked what they did with Arrival, because there's a lot of weird stuff in that movie.
I was gonna say, as far as sound editing is the creation of sound, the sounds they use for the aliens and just the atmosphere throughout a lot of it is pretty interesting.
Also, we'll try best not to spoil anything.
But yeah, my uneducated guess.
I didn't know there were aliens
Arrival.
in that movie. People are gonna freak out. No, I don't care.
There's a spaceship on the cover, so I'm hoping.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. What about you, Giva?
I thought Arrival had some good sound stuff, but it was very minimalist, I think, in the way it treated it, which is good, but there wasn't a whole lot, I think, to deal with. It was just kind of more ambiance rather than the creation of sounds. So I would say either La La Land or Hacksaw Ridge would take this, because they did create a lot of sounds. Hacksaw Ridge with all the war scenes, and even some of the stuff in the background at the training camps. And then La La Land obviously created lots of sound with all the music and the different performances.
Arrival wasn't an action movie, so it sucked. It's like the biggest complaint I saw about that movie. Like, there was no, like, do you not get it, really? It's not an action movie.
I saw a lot of complaints in my theater.
God.
But we're going to move down sound mixing and jump into visual effects, which I'm going to let Steve take in a moment. The visual effects nominations were Deepwater Horizon, Doctor Strange, Kubo and the Two Strings, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, and The Jungle Book. And I know Steve, I remember, was a huge fan of The Jungle Book. Did the visual effects in that one pretty much blow your mind like it did mine? Or
personally, I think that's going to take it easily, because that thing was shot on location in Hollywood. The only thing that was real was the kid. Everything else was just green screen.
Yeah, when I found that out, I was like, okay.
It is pretty insane to think about, yeah.
It's rarely every time.
That's a lock.
It's rarely ever a time where a movie is completely filmed in green screen where it actually,
looks good. These animals looked real.
Yeah.
And now I know, Mike, you were a big fan of Kubo and the Two Strings. And behind the scenes, you were.
Yeah, just like watching. I mean, like already watching it, like because it's a stop motion animation movie. But like, I mean, I love the movie regardless. But like when you watch like the behind the scenes of that stuff, and just even just for any stop motion stuff, like the amount of work that goes into it freaking blows my mind.
Right.
Like, but. Yeah, but I like the way I really like the way Kubo looked, and I liked this. I did like the style of it, and I think because of that, it had such a big process to make it. I think it deserves to win. It probably won't. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, my vote would also be The Jungle Book. But
I really enjoyed The Jungle Book, and how it was extremely impressive. I would have no qualms whatsoever if it won. Personally, I think Rogue One did a better job with the visual effects. They did some crazy things with all of the ships and battles and some of the awesome explosions and everything. And I haven't seen Deepwater Horizon. I didn't think it looked particularly impressive visual-wise.
It's mostly explosions.
I would replace
that's the good stuff.
That or Doctor Strange, I think, was fine visually.
Yeah, I think the world bending.
I did not. I looked at this before. I could not believe that got nominated.
Yeah, I think Civil War did way better things visually and even in the sound than some of the things that got nominated. And I'm a little disappointed Civil War did not get nominated for visual or sound.
Well, that was the other thing, because I saw Doctor Strange in IMAX 3D, and if you saw that in IMAX 3D, it was pretty crazy seeing that in IMAX 3D. But which is why I think it deserved to be nominated at least, but. It's for, like I said, it's only for a portion of the movie. Like, I kind of go along the lines where it just makes, like, the whole movie from beginning to end, not just, like, parts of it.
Yeah, I mean, the parts they did visually, like, animate through CGI.
Yeah, that's why I really, like I said, like, I really enjoy, like, Kubo, because it's a different animation style that we mostly see than a lot of animated movies now.
Okay, we're going to move on to Best Writing Adapted Screenplay, and this is a screenplay based off a book or an old piece of literature.
Hold on, let me find the thing. I got to scroll to it.
For this one, I'm going to read out the nominations. We have Moonlight, which I didn't know was based on anything. Hidden Figures, Lion, Fences, and Arrival. Tim, do you have a favorite?
This is the first of the categories that Lion was nominated for, because it's very difficult to find Lion anywhere right now, because before I knew really much about it, it came out of theaters, so can't judge any Lion until I've seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen Lion either.
I didn't know what Lion was until about 20 minutes ago. What's up, Steve?
Has anyone seen Lion?
No, that's what I just said. I had no idea it was a thing till when I came here.
So, just for I guess disclaimer, none of us know anything about Lion, so don't judge us if it's the best movie ever.
Yeah, if it deserves to win any of these categories, we're not going to say it.
I'm
we don't know.
gonna guess it's about a lion.
There's not a lion on the
India.
cover.
It's in India.
If it was, I think I would have heard about it.
Plot twist, it's about a tiger.
I think we're thinking of The Jungle Book here. But of these, I know Fences was based off a play, and it was written pretty by the numbers as far as how the play went. So it was like a pretty faithful adaptation.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can give it too much credit there.
You guys saw Fences?
Oh, yeah, we saw it last night.
Oh, really? No.
It was great. But I think
good.
it was pretty heavily based off the play, so I don't know how much credit I can give the writer.
He directed that movie, right, too?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Was that how many? Has he directed a lot of movies? I don't even know if he did.
I think he did before, but this was his first in a long time, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, you don't hear too much about him behind the scenes.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a favorite out of these, I think Best Written, Arrival did a really good job of writing really complex concepts in a way that weren't too hard to grasp. And I know it was based off a much shorter story, so to stretch that 50, 60-page short story into a full film, I think that was the most impressive.
I might have to go with Arrival, too. Because I just from the way that movie plans out and what happens is just, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I liked it so much. But yeah.
Yeah, I would probably say Arrival. I think Moonlight did a very good job writing it and did a great job of making an entire kid's life into 3 parts. But I'm assuming the book was probably written in that way, or whatever it's based off of.
I don't know. And
it would be a little more impressive if it wasn't already done in a very effective way last year with the Steve Jobs movie. So I would say Arrival did what no movie really has done in a long time, which is blow my mind.
What about you, Steve?
I'm gonna have to go with you guys. Say Arrival. I also I didn't see Hidden Figures, so I can't really speak for that one either.
No, I haven't either.
But shout out to Moonlight too, because I just saw that recently, and that one was super personal. And to have that, I didn't know that it was adapted. I just assumed that.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I had no clue.
Yeah, maybe it's adapted off. I assumed it was adapted from the director's personal life and things he's experienced. And maybe he wrote a memoir or something about it.
Oh, I guess it's
if he's written something about it. But we're going to move on to original screenplay. Here we have Hell or High Water, La La Land, The Lobster, Manchester by the Sea, and 20th Century Woman. So we're going to let Steve pick up on this one.
The Lobster for me.
Yeah.
I thought that was the most creative of the list. It was a good social commentary on Tinder and all that all that other stuff. But shout out to Hell or High Water. That one was really good too. But I haven't seen Manchester by the Sea or 20th Century Women, so I can't really speak for those. And La La Land was good as a nice throwback. But if I had to pick a clear winner for me, I would go with The Lobster.
The Lobster, writing wise, of the ones I guess you haven't seen it, Manchester by the Sea would be my pick. I think Kenneth Lonergan also directed this movie too, and he wrote it. I think he wrote a really cool personal piece that mixes drama and comedy very well. It's a very well balanced movie. The dialogue, most of it had purpose. You kind of learn a lot about these characters from the way they talk to each other and to just interpersonal moments. So I think that's my pick. What about you, Tim?
I agree. Manchester by the Sea. It's very cleverly written, as in they give you just enough tension and wondering about what's going on after they introduce something to you, and then several minutes later they'll explain it to you. And I think I love that. I think it's brilliant. I think more movies should do stuff like that. And it has some of the most powerful moments of any movie I've seen all year, and that's thanks to the writing and the acting and directing. But also shout outs to Hell or High Water. Also great screenplay.
Michael?
I'm gonna have to. I haven't seen Manchester by the Sea, 20th Century Woman, or The Lobster. I really wanted to see The Lobster and 20th Century Woman. Yeah. Actually, and Manchester, every time I keep hearing more and more, even you guys, I keep hearing more and more good things about Manchester by the Sea. I want to see that too, but I probably wouldn't go with La La Land because it's not exactly. It's weird because I mean, yeah, it is an original screenplay, but I feel like it's something we've seen before in like movies. It's like kids following their dreams, whatever. Like that's been done like probably a zillion times before. I mean, it was a good representation of it and what they did, but I wouldn't say that would be up. But I mean, I really loved Hell or High Water. And I would probably, as of right now, go with that. Like I said, I haven't seen the other ones. I hope to see Manchester by the Sea soon. I want to watch that.
Yeah, I definitely recommend checking that one out.
It's not in theaters anymore, is it? I haven't seen it.
It might be a little, but
I think a lot of these.
It's definitely not. I don't think it's in the one by where we live, and maybe in Monmouth Mall.
A lot of these movies are going to see re-releases in theaters, I think.
Yeah, did you see they're re-releasing Arrival? What's up, Steve?
AMC is doing all of them at once, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're doing that weekend thing, right?
Wait, like front to back, you have to sit in the same theater and watch all of them?
Oh, I don't know about that, but I think they're
because that's batshit crazy.
All 9 of them, all 9 of the Best Picture ones.
Okay, that sounds like a.
I think the way they did it last year was they do half on Saturday and half on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
And you can probably buy just one, but it's discounted if you get all of them.
I guess that goes along with what because they're like re-releasing Arrival, but it's supposed to have like 10 minutes of like extra stuff in it or something like that.
I read that the 10 minutes of extras are just behind the scenes and the director talking. I don't think it's actual.
What the hell is the point of that? I mean, all right, whatever.
To get you to watch it again.
To generate buzz.
Dude, you pay more, you get extra DLC, man. You buy the season pass.
That's what it does.
That's what it is for movies
I guess
now.
You could wait till the Blu-ray. So moving on, we're going to talk about cinematography, something people often attribute to the director, but it's pretty much setting up the shots and the scenery and the imagery and much more than that. Tim, I'm going to let you kick this one off. But the nominations for cinematography are Arrival, La La Land, Lion, Moonlight, and Silence.
I would go. I didn't love La La Land, but this is the one category where I thought it blew everyone else away. It was some of the best shooting of a movie I've ever seen. It was brilliantly done. There were many long shots and many shots with lots of really interesting panning and rotating of the camera, and a lot of interesting, unique angles that you don't see a lot, especially in musicals and movies of that nature. I thought it was excellent. I don't think there's even a close second.
As much as I would agree with you, I really thought the cinematography in La La Land was great. I think I'm probably going to go with Arrival because the director, for the life of me, I cannot say his damn name, but him and especially the cinematographer that he's worked with has worked on a bunch of movies together before, and I've loved every single one of like the way they shoot their movie, like Sicario and Prisoners, and I forgot what
Enemy,
yeah. Like I just love the way they do, especially for this movie because like those previous movies they're much more on a simpler scale, but like this with like aliens and stuff, like what they did, and like the first shot when you see the alien ship like for the very first time. And you see it in the background, it has like the clouds moving over it. I was like, whoa. Yeah, I like this movie a lot. So I'm probably going to go with Arrival, yeah.
Steve, are you on Team Tim, Team Mike, or you have your own opinion?
You better be on my team. I swear to God, Steve.
I'm going to go...
Just kidding.
See, I wouldn't be upset if Arrival or La La Land won, but Moonlight deserves a shout-out for this one, too.
Okay.
I mean, I can't say. I haven't seen... I'm the only one here who hasn't seen Moonlight, so I can't really say anything.
Yeah, that Moonlight was really good in this regard, but if I gotta choose one clear winner, I think I'm gonna go with Mike on this one, Arrival.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was the most realistic interpretation I would imagine an alien invasion would look like.
Right.
It's a very different alien invasion movie. That's why... that's why I really love it so much. Like, I mean, I love movies like Independence Day and things like that, but like after seeing this, I was like, I never really thought so hard about a movie after I saw it. Like, they made you really agree with that think. One. Like, after I saw it, and I actually ended up seeing it again, and then when you see it again, I mean, this doesn't really have anything to do with the cinematography, really, but after seeing it again the second time and like knowing stuff that's going to happen, it's just, and seeing it all over again, like stuff makes sense. It's cool, and yeah, I love that movie a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't fault you guys for picking Arrival, definitely, but I can't leave Tim hanging here. La La Land's also my pick. I thought the way they incorporated the colors of the city and the skyline.
Hey, we're 2-2. We're half and half. That's fine. Yeah.
And the lampposts and all that were just a nice, vibrant. It added a vibrancy to the movie, which I loved, and just the way they set up shots. And like Tim mentioned, a lot of the like one takes they did, which there are some clever ones that were hidden throughout there where you think it's editing, but it's really the way the film was shot. Those were like impressive as hell. So I think La La Land's going to be my pick on this one.
I mean, I can't die. It was a great looking movie.
I would not be disappointed if Arrival or Moonlight won, though. They were good too, but I think La La Land blew them away.
There's like a lot of movies, especially with like La La Land and Arrival, or even like cinematography wise, like any movies that they do from now on, like Denis whatever his last name is,
Villeneuve.
and Damien Chazelle. Like I'm at the point where I'm super excited for anything that they come out with now. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter what it's like. Same thing like with like whenever a Tarantino movie comes out, I get super excited. Even though like his next movie I think is gonna be like a horror movie, and I really don't like horror movies that much, I'm still gonna go see it, like that kind of thing.
And I believe
is that real? He's doing a horror movie now?
Yeah, I think he said he's gonna do a horror movie next. Yeah, I think he said he wanted to try to tackle like movies in like all different kinds of genres, and I think he's kind of done that a little.
Let's get a Tarantino comedy for his last film.
Yeah, like when I heard the
sci-fi.
Yeah, like when I heard the explanation of what Hateful Eight was gonna be, like they said, okay, it's basically a screwed up version of Clue done Tarantino style. And I was like, I immediately just want to go see exactly what I want to see what's going on in that immediately. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that's how he said he was going to do, Steve. I think, which is interesting because he said he's only going to make 10 movies. I think?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of. I mean, you set a milestone for yourself. That's fine. You don't have to be like a Spielberg and make like 70,000.
He'll be back though.
I think.
Yeah, he probably will do something. Who knows?
He's got the same amount of movies as a podcast we have.
Yeah, we have a 10 milestone. But we're going to move on to film editing, and without a good editor, a film could be a very sloppy mess. So I think this is a category that's often overlooked, or even a job that people don't think about too much, but a good editor can make a great movie out of a bad movie. So the nominations in this category are Moonlight, Hell or High Water, La La Land, Hacksaw Ridge, and Arrival. I'm going to start this one off.
Yes.
I want to say Hell or High Water. The way I think this movie really smoothly handled 3 different storylines and smoothly cut between all of them. The movie didn't lose its pacing too much for me. There was never too slow of a moment. And I do think with a movie that's a bit slower in just nature, to not be bored is very impressive for me. So I think the way this was edited, top notch. But that being said, I think all of these were edited very finely.
This is a very solid category. I thought all of the editing of this movie was great. Hacksaw, like I'd say all of them would be 1. Hacksaw Ridge maybe 1A, but they were all still very well edited. And in some years, Hacksaw probably could have won this, but there's no way that it'll happen this year. It's honestly a 3-way tie for me between Arrival, Hell or High Water, and Moonlight. But even La La Land was really well done. I'm gonna have to put the slight edge to Moonlight, but both Hell or High Water and Arrival.
I gotta see this movie. Jesus.
Nuts.
I gotta see Moonlight.
Like it was, Moonlight really did a good job of making you care about one character in 3 central moments of his life. Also, showing some of the same characters in those different moments of his life, and I think
that kind of reminds me of like. Did you guys see Boyhood?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that was one of the best edited films I've ever seen, to be completely honest. Like, especially because the fact like it was filmed over 12 years. I mean, not to mention the production behind that is crazy. But like, is like Moonlight kind of a similar thing? Like,
not really.
Like,
it's more like if you ever saw the Steve Jobs movie from last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's just 3 central moments of this one kid's life and all the people around him and his interactions and emotions.
So Steve, you've been showing a lot of love for Moonlight. Is that your pick for the best slice and diced movie?
It's definitely up there.
Yeah.
I think it's between Moonlight and Arrival for me for this one because after Batman vs Superman, I didn't think you could do flashbacks well anymore. I think flashbacks was just a dead art form. But Arrival proved that you could do it seamlessly.
Good point.
For that reason, I think I'm going to go with Arrival for this one.
Yeah, I think Arrival's editing probably affected your mood and how you reacted to this movie more than any other.
It definitely helps with perceiving the movie. What about you, Mike?
I'm at a tie between Hell or High Water and Arrival. I mean, I think one of the reasons why I'm probably going to lean more to Arrival is because I feel like the editing is really crucial to the story in that movie, and I think the way it's done is kind of done in a really great way, and I think that's probably why I'm going to lean towards Arrival. But yeah, I really loved Hell or High Water. I thought it was good how they mashed all this like different storylines together in a way. I mean, and the other ones, I haven't seen. Like Hacksaw Ridge, I feel like was kind of just straightforward, even though it was a great movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, and yeah, that's what I think.
Cool. So for this next category, we're going to jump into it just because I think it's somewhat interesting. The category is makeup and hairstyling. And the nominations for this one are A Man Called Ove, Star Trek Beyond, and Suicide Squad. So I was not a fan of Suicide Squad, but
we all know
I can admire a movie for its technical aspects, and I still don't think Suicide Squad belongs in here. What about you guys? So I don't know what they were thinking, but I definitely not voting for Suicide Squad. I haven't seen A Man Called Ove, so I'm going Star Trek Beyond. Do you guys have an opinion on this category?
Star Trek Beyond, yes, because I haven't seen A Man Called Ove, and Suicide Squad was fine.
What about you two? You two seem to be more into the book.
I mean,
lore.
I guess I'm the only one here who kind of liked Suicide Squad, but I mean, it doesn't mean I'm going to go towards freaking makeup and hairstyling. But
did you like it, Steve?
Did I like Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
I could.
That means no.
That means a little.
That means like no, but with like a.
But as far as this category goes, Suicide Squad is the only one I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm gonna have to go with that one by default.
So Mike, being Suicide Squad was your favorite movie?
I mean, the only reason why I would lean towards Star Trek Beyond. I mean, Suicide Squad is because Star Trek Beyond is kind of it's like the same thing as the first two movies in the way of like production and I mean like makeup and hairstyling, whatever. But there were some things in Suicide Squad that I thought looked really stupid.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just gonna go towards Star Trek.
I think Star Trek's alien design is what.
Yeah. I also haven't seen A Man Called Ove, or do I even know what that is?
Interesting that I have not heard of one of them, and they only went with 3 nominations. But you know, I think
they've been doing that with 1 or 2 categories in the smaller one lately. Yeah. It might have been just makeup and hairstyling that they only decided to do 3.
Mm-hmm.
Not really sure
I'm looking
why.
at like the cover of it, and I'm like,
I'm surprised Jackie isn't on that list.
Yeah, I was about to say Jackie.
Actually, yeah, I'm surprised that is it.
Yeah, I was going to ask, are there any other movies that you think got snubbed from this category?
3. Or Deadpool.
Actually, Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool.
I'm telling you right now, Deadpool got snubbed out of every category in this thing.
Should win all the Oscars.
As well as 9 Lives.
Should 9 Lives have gotten 9 Oscar nominations?
Dude.
We're definitely going to get into snubs and surprises when we get into some of the bigger categories, but before we do that, we're going to move on to music original score. This is the musical pieces that have been put together by a composer, typically background music or however you want to prefer to call it. The nominations for this category are Lion, again, which we haven't seen, Moonlight, Passengers, La La Land, and Jackie. Tim, you're the musician in this group. What do you think?
Really?
I don't even think the top 2 scores of the year are in this list. So
what would those be?
And what would they be?
I believe Arrival and Manchester by the Sea had the 2 best scores of the year. They definitely affected my mood the most and made me enjoy the movie much more because of their inclusion.
Yeah, I could see. Because I mean, I even like with the mixing and the sound with Arrival, still was like it was made that movie a little bit more enjoyable than it should have been.
Yeah, Arrival definitely made good use of silence too. Yeah. But I think the thing with Arrival is if you listen to the score again, I think a lot of the songs share similar sound, or even the same song.
So it wasn't varied enough?
I don't think it was varied enough for them, but I do agree that it was pretty awesome.
If it's just if this is a music awards and they did it,
then
sure. But because this is a movie award about music, I think it should be how the music affected the movie.
Right.
In which case, I think Manchester by the Sea and Arrival were by far the top 2. But if I had to pick a score from this list, I've only seen La La Land and Moonlight. I thought Moonlight had a good score.
Very classical, right?
It's hard to tell with La La Land what's score and what would be counted as like an original song. But I guess I would still give the nod to La La Land.
I'm going to agree with you. I thought La La Land's music, especially in the planetarium scene and the themes that Mia and Sebastian both have, were like just beautiful pieces. And I've been whistling and humming them for the past month, so that's my pick.
Dude, I've been playing hardcore video games, like blowing crap up and listening to that music. I have problems. Don't judge me.
But I do
also get at me.
Give a quick shout out to Jackie, which I saw yesterday.
Jackie who?
The composer Mika Levy did the composition for Under the Skin, which was fabulous, and the music in Jackie was amazing. I thought. I just got to give this slight edge to La La Land. Steve, you mentioned Jackie earlier. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it yet.
No.
I plan to see it like sometime this week, and I'm going to try to binge watch all of them.
Yeah.
Jackie Kennedy.
Too.
So what about you two guys? You guys have a score preference or?
Score. I'm gonna go La La Land for this one, but that's only because the only other movie I've seen from this list is Moonlight, and the thing about Moonlight is that like the score was fine in Moonlight, but I thought it was better when it was quiet. Like I think the silence.
That's interesting.
The silence in that movie had a better effect on the mood.
I agree.
It's like telling somebody, I like you, but when you're not talking. When you're not speaking, when you shut up, I like you a lot.
Right, but I do agree with what he's saying. There are points in the movie where they do have heavily, like a lot of violin and classical sounds in the background where you could definitely see more of an emotional impact if the scene was quieter. So,
agreed.
Those are our picks for original score. Now we're going to move on to original song, which I do think you guys probably have heard of most of these. The first one I don't think any of us have heard of possibly is The Empty Chair from Jim the James Foley Story. Next we have City of Stars and Auditions, The Fools Who Dream from La La Land. Third we have Can't Stop the Feeling, which was all over the radio this summer.
Can't Stop
from
Wait,
Trolls.
Yeah.
And How Far I'll Go from
the radio.
Moana. So being that Moana was a musical and La La Land was a musical, Moana only had one song nominated, but La La Land had two. Anyone shocked by this?
That's kind of screwed up, don't you think?
I'm not shocked. I'm so upset about that.
With
that You're Welcome didn't get nominated?
You're Welcome and the other one. I can't think of the name.
That's
I'll show you the way.
Is that from Moana? I haven't seen Moana.
Yeah, that one.
Show Me the Way, something like that? Yeah.
Not Shiny? You guys didn't like Shiny?
I'd rather be shiny.
I could play the whole thing on repeat. I don't care.
Moana had some good songs.
But if How Far I'll Go is the choice I went with, Steve, do you think that'll take the cake for this category, or?
No, it's gonna go to Audition, I think.
I hope so.
Tim too, Audition. I'm hoping for City of Stars. I prefer that song more, but I think La La Land's gonna.
I mean, City of Stars feels more like. I mean, like Audition feels like a legit song, and City of Stars feels more like the motif throughout that whole movie. Which yeah. But yeah, I'm probably gonna go with Audition too, even though I really like City of Stars. And like even when I was saying like, for like especially for City of Stars, and even for the score and the music for that movie, and why I think it should win every category that it's in for music is because obviously the music is great, but I feel like it feels like it's its own character in that movie. Like it's a crucial part of what. I mean, obviously, it is a crucial part of what made that movie great. But like it has its own like sense of like if it could be something completely different if it didn't have this music in it.
I mean, you definitely would hope if a musical has this much love that the music in this movie would also garner some reception.
No Justin Timberlake love? Come on. What about Trolls?
No, he's married to Jessica Biel and I'm in love with her and I hate him.
Yeah, that song is pretty generic, so I don't think.
Yeah,
I definitely don't think that'll take it.
I was very disappointed that Sing Street was not nominated for Best Song.
That's a pretty.
Drive It Like You Soul It should 100% replace Can't Stop the Feeling.
They just put that on Netflix. I gotta watch that. Sing Street.
Definitely.
I remember you told me that it was good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but other than that, I agree. I think Audition should win this one.
Bless you, Mike. And Mike, you're going to start off the next one. We're going to do some.
Are you laughing at me sneezing?
It just blew out my mic.
I was about to say, you piece of crap.
Sorry to everyone at home.
Sorry,
Steve.
Steve.
We're going to win a sound mixing award for that one. But production design, we're going to get into next. We have Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Hail Caesar, Passengers, La La Land, and Arrival. Mike, do you have any...
Wait, which one are we doing? I'm sorry.
Production design. I'll give you a moment.
Yeah, give me a moment. I got to do some scrolling here.
No worries. Tim, production design. We just saw Hail Caesar, so that's going to be my pick.
That's my pick.
Actually, I don't know if that'll be my pick, thinking about it. But anyway, that's your pick. So
my pick is Hail Caesar. I think the sets were awesome. They were colorful. They were like old Hollywood, like all the gripes or all the praises about La La Land for being like old Hollywood and making people nostalgic and thinking of how interesting that was. That's how I felt about Hail Caesar.
It definitely captured the mood of the different genres of the 1950s like perfectly. So Hail Caesar was originally my pick, but I think I'm going to
It was like every time you saw it, there was a different mood, and with that mood, there was a different kind of set, a different color scheme, just different textiles and all of this craziness that goes along with it. It was very pleasing on the eyes because of the set production.
It was a very nicely textured and layered movie. I liked a lot of the, again, genres of the 50s, but I think for my pick on this one, I'm going to have to go with Arrival. I think the production design and Arrival, especially with the spaceships and just the atmospheres that they had to create, I think were really awesome. And the spoilers, I guess, aliens in the movie I thought were cool too. And I guess that would fall under production design. I don't know for a fact.
Yeah, I think that'd be more visual effects personally, but
yeah,
but maybe the way that they were set up within the set could be set design.
Regardless, I'm going Arrival. What about you, Michael?
I'm probably gonna go. I still haven't seen Hail Caesar. I do want to see that movie. I'm probably gonna go with La La Land. I was gonna say Arrival, but that I thought that movie's more visual effects than it is, because a lot of that movie takes place in the same spot. Really, it's kind of. I mean, that's why I think it's more visual than it is production. But yeah, I really like the whole everything that got into making La La Land. I thought so
that was definitely one of my.
I do want to see Hail Caesar though.
Hail Caesar's good. It's a bit slow, I think.
That's what I've heard. I mean, I've heard the Coen brothers have kind of lost their touch.
If you're a fan of 1950s Hollywood,
a little bit.
It's a typical Coen brothers movie. I think if you like them, you like them.
There's never going to be there's never going to be another Big Lebowski, all right?
Right.
Or No Country for Old Men.
All right.
Next.
Have you seen Hail Caesar, Steve?
I actually forgot that movie came out this year. I thought it was so long ago.
It was the very beginning of last year, about a year ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, I actually thought that came out a while ago, at least 2 years.
But, I mean, I didn't really like the movie, to be honest.
Right.
But if there's anything that I could, walk out of that movie saying, it was the production design. And I'm going to go with Tim on this one. I think that one should be the winner for this list.
Yeah, I'm glad it got some love here because I know a lot of people didn't like it, but it's nice to see that those efforts weren't overlooked.
I don't think I would have really enjoyed that movie at all if it weren't for the amazing set production. Which
I
made me think the movie was, pretty decent.
Absolutely. So foreign language film, I'm just going to touch on briefly. A Man Called Ove is a foreign film. I think that's why we haven't seen it.
Okay.
¿Por qué?
So that's in there. And Tony Erdmann, I've been hearing a lot of praise. So that's something, if you guys at home are interested in foreign, I think it's a German film, I would definitely check that out. But I don't know too much about these.
I heard a lot about The Salesman. I heard that's pretty. The
Salesman?
Yeah.
Salesman from Iran.
Have you guys heard of any of these? I guess we'll read the other two. Tana and Land of Mine. Anybody?
Tana from Australia. Land of Mine from Denmark. Do not
Wait,
know
is
anything
Land of
about
Mine
these movies.
The war one?
Yeah,
Land of Mine I actually heard. I heard that's pretty...
Are you sure you're not thinking of Landmine?
Landmines? I don't hope not.
So, costume design is the next category we're going to get into. For costume design, we have Allied, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Florence Foster Jenkins, Jackie, and La La Land. So I'm going to go to Steve for this one. He does a lot of art. You guys can check him out at Steve Garcia Art. We'll put a link to that in the description after the video. Steve,
Thanks
do you know...
for the plug.
An artiste.
Gotta plug
Get it
everybody.
right.
An artiste. Steve, do you know anything about... I don't know if you delve into costume design at all, but I mean, you draw a lot of characters. Did any of these movies catch your eyes in terms of clothing and costume?
Well, typically what the Oscars does is they usually give these kinds of awards to period pieces.
Right.
So Jackie's probably going to win by default. I'm actually surprised that Civil War wasn't on this list. I'm actually surprised that any of the comic book movies weren't on this list.
Really?
I agree.
That's a good point he brings up. I hadn't even thought of that. They do put a lot of effort into, especially with sequels to superhero movies, they do put a lot of effort into making the costumes look different, but still pleasing to the eye.
Yeah, oh my God. Remember that Captain America in the first Avengers movie?
Yeah.
It was a rubber suit.
Bright,
oh my God.
rubber.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's a good point. No superhero movies, but we do have one kind of sequel adaptation of a book. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them would be my pick. I think, again, it is kind of a period piece, but you also have kind of a lot of flair to these interesting characters. Like Newt Scamander had an interesting outfit, and I thought that was interesting. So that would be me.
Yeah, everything on this list is either a period piece or La La Land a throwback to a period of sorts, even though it takes place now. All the costumes are kind of from 70s, 50s, old Hollywood.
Very colorful and bright.
Yes, exactly. So it's tough to call. I liked Fantastic Beasts and La La Land's costumes. Those are the only two I've seen. So I'd give the slight edge. I kind of want to see Fantastic Beasts win something and get appreciated for some of the hard work they put into it.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the movie, but
the movie
I
itself,
wouldn't be upset.
but a lot of the
I didn't
details
see
they
it,
did put in.
No. So, Mike, you're the best dressed out of all of us here today. What do you pick for costume
I said this before we came on, and I was like, just from like in order is like most successful to like most likely to be homeless. Like
we said, dress nice because it's an Oscar show.
Well, I said I didn't have any really thing to fit me anymore. I haven't worn a dress shirt in like 8 years. I mean, probably.
It could have just worn your Consider This Movie Show T-shirt and nothing else.
Are you saying that I don't look hot right now?
I did say you look the best.
Yeah, I think you're the one who started it. So
that's true, actually. Anyway, I probably would go with Fantastic Beasts, even though I didn't see it. But I think, judging even just from like the Harry Potter stuff, even though it's everything from the Harry Potter was always kind of cool, and since it's in that realm, to a more like a period piece, and I think that's kind of cool. But yeah, that was other than that, the only one I saw I think was La La Land. Yeah, the only one I saw was La La Land, but I would give it to Fantastic Beasts. Like, all right, La La Land can't win everything. He doesn't have to win everything. But seriously.
What if it got snubbed? What if it won nothing?
I don't know. We'll find out in about a month. We're going to move on to the animated feature category, one of our bigger categories. So if you guys want to talk about snubs or surprises, feel free. In this category for our nominations, we have Kubo and the Two Strings, Moana, My Life as a Zucchini, The Red Turtle, and Zootopia. Steve, since you're the animator, I'll let you give us some pointers.
Well, Moana's hands down my favorite.
Right.
But shout out to Kubo and the Two Strings. I would not be upset if that won. But if I had to guess, it's probably going to go to Zootopia because it was the only one of those that I know of that actually had a message, like something to say. I'm actually surprised Zootopia's screenplay wasn't nominated for anything because that was like probably one of the most creative movies of the year.
I agree too.
I didn't think about that, but good point.
But if I had to guess, I'm gonna say Zootopia's gonna win, but I would personally throw my vote in for Moana.
Is anyone shocked to see Finding Dory, Sing, and The Secret Life of Pets not making this list?
All three of them, yes.
I'm surprised at least Finding Dory wasn't. I feel like that was I'm going by a little bit by popularity because that was a big movie for this year.
Right.
Last year, I'm sorry. But yeah,
I think it was definitely one of Pixar's weaker movies, so that I'm not too shocked.
I didn't see it. So
Sing was pretty by the numbers, although I enjoyed it, and I haven't seen Secret Life of Pets. Tim, you liked it?
I'd group this nice little cluster of Secret Life of Pets, Finding Dory, and Kubo and the Two Strings to pretty good. Mm-hmm. So Kubo obviously had better production value than the other two, but I understand why it's on there, but I didn't think it was insane.
Have any of you guys seen The Red Turtle and My Life as a Zucchini? Those are two I need to check out.
Nope.
Didn't even know.
No.
My Life as a Zucchini honestly sounds like a food porn movie. Speaking of, where's Sausage Party? Yeah, why didn't Sausage Party
was pushing
Hey, I forgot about that.
Why didn't it didn't win Best Song or Best Animated Movie?
Yeah, a real big push for that. But I'm going to agree with Steve. I think Zootopia is probably going to take it, although Moana and Kubo have pretty nice shots.
I enjoyed Zootopia by far the most out of all the animated movies I saw. Moana was very good. You already know my thoughts on Kubo, and the other two are pretty obscure. I want to know who has seen these movies other than the voters.
I think I'm with Steve. I think Zootopia is going to win. Mm-hmm. I really love Kubo and the Two Strings. I think I think I said it before. I don't know if we talked about it here on before, but I like the production that went into that movie was crazy. But I really liked. Like I think I said this to you before. I think it was like Kubo and the Two Strings feels like a video game movie in like a weird like Legend of Zelda kind of way. Like he's going to find all these pieces of armor and weapons, and he's got to like beat a boss like every single time. Like I just really liked how they did that, and like I said, I liked the animation to it. And I didn't see Moana. When I wanted to see it, I don't think it was in theaters by the time I wanted to. But yeah, I think Zootopia is going to win, but I want Kubo to win. I really love Kubo. It just wasn't that big. That's the problem with it. Like Kubo didn't have enough marketing. That was like the big problem with that movie because it didn't make a lot of money.
Yeah, maybe the Oscars buzz will get it some home marketing.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
I feel like sometimes like with Oscars, it started becoming a little bit more like what makes a lot of money sometimes. Like I feel like that, not like it has something to do with it, but it kind of has something to do with it. I
definitely see there being a bias with some
especially for like animated movies because they make a lot of money because kids want to go see it and then their parents take their kids to go see it, so they bring it for birthday parties, so they bring like 15 kids with them, and that's a lot of money. So
Yeah, I really hope more movies like Kubo get made, because stop motion is very difficult and not done all the time. Maybe like one a year. It was cultural, and it had a really cool original idea with some of the origami type stuff. And I really hope movies try to be ambitious like that in the future.
Yeah, that part in the beginning when he's like controlling the paper while playing the I was like, this is awesome. I like this.
The whole
already.
thing
Yeah.
was gorgeous.
What's up?
The whole thing was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was hard to believe that was all handmade. Like none of that.
Oh
was
yeah,
CGI.
yeah. Have you seen like the anything on like the production of that movie or?
Yeah, I saw a couple of that. There was something on like in the end credits, like they were showing some pictures.
Yeah, I saw some stuff online. You should check it out. It's kind of crazy. Plus, it's got Matthew McConaughey and
I thought it was
All
George
right,
Clooney
all
the whole
right,
time
all right.
until
Really?
I saw the credits. Yeah.
You know, I didn't realize that the monkey's name was the monkey was Charlize Theron. I was like, wait,
Yeah,
I
I
had
didn't
no
know that either
idea.
until the
Yeah, that is
credits.
interesting.
I was like,
That
when I
was a very
started watching it,
interesting cast.
yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
So we're going to wrap up into our last 6 major categories. We're going to start off with actress in a supporting role. For Fences, we have Viola Davis. Moonlight, Naomi Harris. Lion, Nicole Kidman. Hidden Figures, Octavia Spencer. And Manchester by the Sea, Michelle Williams. Right off the bat, my pick is Viola Davis. I think she gave the most powerful performance, ranging from very upset and emotionally defeated to just happy and pretty much on top of the world. So I think she did the best performance overall, although all of these that I have seen were very strong performances.
Yeah, I've seen Naomi Harris for Moonlight, Viola Davis for Fences, and Michelle Williams for Manchester by the Sea. Nicole Kidman, I've seen her before. You know, she's a pretty good actress. Mm-hmm. And Octavia Spencer.
I know her.
I'm not sure if I've seen any of her movies. But
she's a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she seems to be an Oscar golden child at this point in her career. She's been nominated for at least 2 or 3 Oscars, and I think she's won before for The Help.
She won 4. I do think she was the weaker of the 3 leads in this movie, so I was kind of surprised that
Who
she
is
got
this
the
again?
nomination. Octavia Spencer in Hidden Figures.
Yeah,
But I definitely think Viola Davis runs away with this. Mm-hmm. But also, I'm a little surprised that the studio didn't try to make her best actress. Maybe she thought she would have been up against too much competition.
Yeah,
but she was in the majority of the movie. I thought, honestly, she would have been nominated for best actress in general, not supporting.
And when we get into actress, we're going to talk about that a little bit more. What
I
about
think she benefits from the fact that she had more exposure.
Yeah.
You could see all of the sides of her character, and she seemed very, very realistic for that. So she was excellent. Michelle Williams, honestly, was great, and Naomi Harris was great too, but you see less sides of them because, again, they're supporting.
Yeah, they're very 1 or 2 note characters.
Exactly. Great notes, for sure, but not as many as Viola Davis had.
Mike?
I haven't seen any of these movies.
All right. Awesome. Steve?
I mean, between Fences and Moonlight, those are the only 2 I saw. I thought Viola Davis was a lot better than Naomi Harris, only because Naomi Harris's character was, like, pretty stereotypical. Like, we've seen that character already, whereas Viola Davis, like, that was a really powerful performance from, like, something I didn't really expect going in.
I will agree with that one, for sure.
Yeah, again, I didn't expect it to be such a layered performance from, like, different... Pretty much hits everywhere on the emotional spectrum for her, acting-wise. And it was a very dialogue-heavy movie, so I'm just impressed that these characters can hold all those words in their head.
I'd probably go with Nicole Kidman because she is a person. So
that's good logic. That honestly could be the logic of some voters.
What's up, Steve?
We like people.
Yeah. We the people.
Well, actually, in this movie, she could be the lion. We don't know.
Oh my God.
She might not be a person.
Is that the twist?
Yeah, right? Is that the twist? Nicole Kidman is actually
Shyamalan
a
direct this one, too?
Yeah.
It is an Indian movie, but we're going to move on to actor in a supporting role. For this one, we have Mahershala Ali for Moonlight, Jeff Bridges for Hell or High Water, Lucas Hedges for Manchester by the Sea, Dev Patel for Lion, damn Lion again, and Michael Shannon for Nocturnal Animals. First, I want to say a little bit surprised that Michael Shannon got the nomination for Nocturnal Animals over Aaron Taylor Johnson, or even Jake Gyllenhaal, but... So that one's my big snub for this category, and my hope for this winner of this category is Lucas Hedges in Manchester by the Sea. He plays a teenager who has to go through the death of his father and dealing with a lot of familial issues. And for such a young actor, I think he did a marvelous job. Steve, you were also disappointed by Nocturnal Animals. Do you have any comments for this category?
This is the only thing Nocturnal Animals was nominated for, and it wasn't for Aaron Taylor Johnson. Like, that was crazy. He would have been my clear pick, but out of these, I think it's gonna go to Jeff Bridges. That said, all of them were great. Like, I wouldn't be upset if any of them won.
Yeah, they all did great jobs. Tim,
Mike.
Mike.
Oh, hi.
Hey,
how you doing?
Have you seen these?
I've only seen Hell or High Water.
Right.
For that, I think I probably... Wait, is Mahershala... is that the guy from Luke Cage?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't believe...
He was the bag... He was Cottonmouth?
That's Cottonmouth.
Okay. I was like...
Whoa. I'll have to check that out.
I just thought you meant Luke.
But yeah, I'm probably going to go with Jeff Bridges, because that's the only one I've seen here, and he was great in that movie. He was great, so I love me some Jeff Bridges.
Tim, you are a very big fan of Hell or High Water. Something tells me...
I just want to say, Best Supporting Actor this year was absolutely stacked. This was kind of my dream scenario, other than Lion, because I haven't seen it. But they could have expanded this to 15 actors, and I would be okay.
Oh, yeah.
Just a short list of snubs, I think. Well, not even snubs, because they picked some great ones.
Yeah.
But Aaron Taylor-Johnson and Jake Gyllenhaal for Nocturnal Animals. I'd probably pick Aaron Taylor-Johnson as the best. He wasn't my favorite, but I think he did one of, if not the best jobs. John Legend in La La Land. Ben Foster in Hell or High Water.
Ooh, good one.
Stephen Henderson.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised for Ben Foster. He was great in that movie.
Stephen Henderson, who plays Denzel Washington's best friend in Fences, Jim Bono.
Okay.
And Jeremy Renner for Arrival. I all think were incredible.
Awesome.
For this... My favorite performance of the year was Jeff Bridges in Hell or High Water. I hope he wins. But I think the best performance out of these 5 was Mahershala Ali for Moonlight. He wasn't in it for too long, but I think he did a really solid
the screen
job.
time he was presented.
Yes.
That's actually a pretty good snubs list. So we're going to move on to actor and leading role. We'll let you kick it off since you paid the most attention, it seems, to the actors. For actor in a leading role, we have Casey Affleck in Manchester by the Sea, Andrew Garfield in Hacksaw Ridge, which we just saw, Ryan Gosling in La La Land, Viggo Mortensen in Captain Fantastic, and Denzel Washington in Fences.
Yeah, I like Viggo Mortensen in the Lord of the Rings movies.
Viggo Mortensen.
As Aragorn.
He was also a person.
Yeah, he's also a person I've seen before in movies. But I have not seen Captain Fantastic yet. I will before Oscar season. Or before it's Oscar season. Before the Oscars come on. I don't think Andrew Garfield did a great job. I think he was fine, but I don't think he deserves to be nominated for this particular category. If I had to pick a top 4 in order, I would say number 4, Denzel Washington. I think he was awesome in Fences. Number 3, Ryan Gosling. Number 2, someone who I think was a huge snub of this list, the Oscars didn't care at all, John Goodman.
Yeah.
John Goodman was my second favorite performance of the year, for sure. But I think Casey Affleck runs away with this award.
Casey Affleck's your number 1 pick?
He was insane.
Are any of these
Such
surprised to you?
acting.
Or I think they were all pretty strong.
Yeah,
actors.
and they weren't surprising to me.
So, Steve, I know you were also a big proponent of John Goodman for the Oscar. Were you disappointed that he was an actor in a supporting role?
Disappointed, but not surprised.
Yeah,
I
same.
would say the same thing, yeah.
But as far as these go, I think, based on what I heard, I think Casey Affleck is going to walk away with this one easy. But I like Denzel a lot in Fences. Like, that was just him and Viola Davis acting for 2 hours. Like, it was crazy.
It was like it was like watching an acting class.
They were literally just acting at each other.
Right.
Yes.
Because that was a play, right?
Yeah,
Fences was a play?
Based off play. And you could tell, but again, with Viola Davis' character, you have I think Denzel Washington would be my pick for a favorite, but I think Casey Affleck's also going to take it. Denzel Washington also hits these wide range of emotions, and again, all those words he keeps in his head. That's just impressive to me.
Yeah,
Mike?
I think...
I'm probably... I liked Ryan Gosling, but I don't think he was... There were times where I thought he was okay. Like, he wasn't fantastic in it. I mean, I love Ryan Gosling, don't get me wrong. Like, the guy has range between so much movies that he does, but I still haven't seen most of these. I didn't even know Viggo Mortensen was on this. But, holy crap. But I've heard great things from Denzel and Casey Affleck. I'm probably just going to go with what I saw, which was Andrew Garfield. I thought he was pretty good. I think he surprised me. Because I thought he was just going to be the one-off Spider-Man dude and not really do anything else with his life. And I heard, I still haven't seen, I want to see Silence, too. I want to see what he's like in that.
Yeah, I got to say Andrew Garfield did good. Tim, you had another comment on this
Andrew
one? Andrew
Garfield.
I just thought when we were talking about Fences, I'll just mention it later.
So Fences is going to be in Best Picture, so you'll get a chance there. We're going to move on to actress in a leading role. We have This is unfortunate. I've only seen 2 of these performances, so I can't really say much here. But
I've only seen 1.
They are Meryl Streep and Florence Foster Jenkins, which I don't believe anybody's surprised by because Meryl Streep.
Jesus Christ.
Emma Stone in La La Land, Natalie Portman in Jackie, Ruth Negga in Loving, and Isabelle Huppert in Elle. So of these performances that I have seen, I'm actually going to go with Natalie Portman. I think she did an incredibly serviceable job as playing Jackie Kennedy, who is kind of a weirder figure in our history, and she has a strange accent and just an interesting life. I think Natalie Portman conveyed it well, but again, I wouldn't be shocked if Emma Stone takes it away. Tim?
Yeah, I've only seen Emma Stone in this, and I think she definitely was the best actress, at least best leading actress I've seen this year. Mm-hmm. I'd give, if Viola Davis was nominated for this category, I'd say maybe she'd get it, or at least she was a little better, but they decided not to put her up against Emma Stone, so I think Emma Stone will definitely get it. But Natalie Portman is also a great actress, and I really want to see her performance in Jackie.
Absolutely recommend it. What about you, Michael?
I've only seen Emma Stone, and I feel like she's probably gonna win, but who knows? But I've heard amazing things about Natalie Portman. I'm also in love with Natalie Portman, so that's good.
You did see Arrival, though. Were you shocked that Amy Adams didn't make this list for that,
not
or even
really.
Nocturnal Animals?
I thought she was fine in it, and I thought Jeremy Renner was fine in it. I mean, I'm not surprised that she's not in this because I don't know. I thought she was just fine. I thought, she was. She wasn't the thing that really gripped me about that movie than other things, but yeah. So.
How do you feel about
She should have been nominated for Batman v Superman.
I think Emma Stone is going to take this one, but Natalie Portman is probably going to be the dark horse here.
I like that term, the dark horse.
Yeah, that's what I was
thinking. Is she going to be the Black Swan of this?
Ooh. Oh, very clever. Nice.
I have not seen Black Swan.
That's another one. Did she win an Academy Award for that one?
She was definitely nominated.
All I know is that I think her and what's her name? Mila Kunis, they have a lesbian scene together or something. So
that's what I've heard. I've never seen that.
Steve confirms.
Why would I watch something?
I saw it.
That rating
for science.
All right then, for science. I'm going to do this. We have the technology.
So we're going on to our last 2 categories, 2 major ones. The first one is Best Directing. For this one, we have Damien Chazelle for La La Land. We have Kenneth Lonergan for Manchester by the Sea. I'm still scrolling through this one.
Barry Jenkins for Moonlight. Denis Villeneuve for Arrival. And Mel Gibson making his return.
Good old Mel.
With a directing Oscar nom for Hacksaw Ridge.
So, Mike, earlier you were saying Denis Villeneuve is a fantastic director. Do you think he'll end up taking this one? Or he's up against some tough competition? This is probably the toughest one for me, to be completely honest, because I haven't seen Manchester or Moonlight, so I can't say anything for them. Damien Chazelle, I think I've come to, like I said, I want to see anything that he does. The same thing with Denis Villeneuve, but I really want Mel Gibson to win this because I think it's been such a good year for him and such a comeback. But at the same time, I'm actually I'm not surprised that he was nominated because I feel like now Hollywood just wants nothing to do with him. Mm-hmm. And even when this movie was promoted, they're saying from the director of Braveheart and Apocalypto, I think it was, they don't even want to say his name anymore. But I think it would be a total screw you to everybody if he wins. So I really want him to. But if I really was going to go with one, I probably would go with Denis Villeneuve. Yeah, this is a hard category. This is definitely a very
tough one.
stacked
It's a great year.
How do you feel about this one, Steve?
I love a good comeback story. If Mel Gibson walks away with this one, I'll be really happy.
Right? See, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
That said, I think Barry Jenkins has some sort of traction for this one too.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick one for me personally, I want Mel Gibson to walk away with this one.
Interesting. I do think Mel Gibson definitely directed the war scenes in the movie, but I thought the first half was
that's one of the things he does so well. He directs war scenes so well. It's even like Braveheart's one of my favorite movies. That movie was just just the way he does things and the way he when he has his I was actually kind of worried for this a little bit, especially in the first half. It was kind of nothing really happens. It was just mainly a sort of what's the one I'm thinking of? I can't think of it right now, but like it going through boot camp. What the Vietnam one? What the hell is the name of it?
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket. That's what it is. Christ. Anyway, but yeah, like the first half of the movie felt a little bit sort of like Full Metal Jacket in a way, but like that's why I was like kind of worried. But then once it got to like the actual like the last hour of that movie, it was crazy. Like I was like, all right, this is the Mel Gibson I know of blood and guts and shit blowing everywhere. Like this is gonna be like this is what I came to see.
I think he directs violence in a very natural way. He did that really well. My pick for this category is Damien Chazelle. I think he excels behind the camera. He gets the best out of his actors, especially to get them to learn to dance, sing, play piano, whatever it is, in the way they do. I am a little bit disappointed to not see Tom Ford for Nocturnal Animals in here, and even Dan Trachtenberg for 10 Cloverfield Lane. Those are two movies that are heavily built on tension.
Did you know that Damien Chazelle actually, I think he wrote the script or the screenplay for 10 Cloverfield Lane?
He did the rewrites for the
He did the rewrites for it? Yeah, because I think it was like it was a different movie before it became 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Those rewrites, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think all of these, I wouldn't really be disappointed with any of these winning Best Director, but I would honestly replace Hacksaw Ridge with Dan Trachtenberg for 10 Cloverfield Lane. But my personal favorite, what I would like to win, is Denis Villeneuve for an Arrival.
Yeah.
Arrival. I think he deserves to finally win his Oscar.
I'm glad he's finally getting recognition.
Yeah, exactly.
I like
the words right out of my mouth.
I feel like he's just like now he can just do whatever he wants, and it's like I'm so excited for the Blade Runner sequel this year. Like just to like, even though like I think Blade Runner is a weird, like today if you watch it, it's not particularly a great movie, but I mean, like it has its own thing to it that makes it interesting. But I think like putting his stamp on it and doing it in his style, I think is a really interesting thing, and why I can't wait to see that movie. But like I love that guy. I can't pronounce his name, but I love that guy.
But Denis Villeneuve for Arrival would be my favorite and my pick that I would like to win. But I think the best would either go to Damien Chazelle or Barry Jenkins, because Moonlight and La La Land were both very well directed.
Did you see Damien Chazelle's first movie that he ever made?
No, The Grand Piano, I think.
He wrote that movie. The first one, I think it's called something like Two Names on a Park Bench or something. It's like a weird. It was like his very first movie. It was like an indie movie. I want to see it so bad because I just want
one worth checking out.
Yeah, I want to see it so bad just to see what it's like.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
finally
to our drum roll, please. Final category, Best Picture. It's the big one of the night. I think between all of us, we may have seen everything except Lion. So, without any further ado, our Best Picture nominees, and again, for this one, feel free to talk about snub, surprises, anything you would have liked to have made it. Our Best Pictures are Arrival, Fences, Hacksaw Ridge, Hell or High Water, Hidden Figures, La La Land, Lion, Manchester by the Sea,
and Suicide Squad.
And
Actually,
Deadpool.
Moonlight. And it's interesting to note that we only have 9 out of 10 possible categories, or 9 out of 10 possible positions in this category. So there was a spot for a 10th movie. Didn't quite make the cut.
It has been a while since they filled out the full 10 movies, probably since the first 2 years that they had it back in 2009, 2010. But I do believe that this is one of the years where indie films were insanely well made, films, and I think there could have been a place for a 10th film.
I think so too. Before we talk about our favorites of this category, I was going to get into, are you guys surprised by any picture that made this list, or are you disappointed, or would you have liked that 10th spot be filled by another movie? Tim?
I'm not surprised. These are most of the movies that you've been hearing buzz about that were nominated for Golden Globes for Best Picture. So, no surprises there. I do think something like maybe The Nice Guys, which got snubbed entirely from everything.
That was my favorite movie.
Could have made that 10th spot.
So, Mike, you're agreeing with The Nice Guys? Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I wish it could have been, but I mean, it's obviously understandable why it wasn't. I mean, it's not like it's not really Oscar worthy, but the stupid term that people want to use. But I mean, that was like my favorite movie for last year. It's I wish it could be on it, but I also wish Deadpool could be on it. I love Deadpool, but we can't have what we want.
You can't always get what you want, right? Yeah. How about you, Steve?
I think it's really well-rounded, definitely. But if I had to pick a 10th, I would probably go with like Zootopia, because it's been a while since an animated movie has been in this category.
I was just thinking that. I'm actually surprised. Did you guys see Sully?
No,
I haven't.
I was actually surprised. Like, I feel like that was like close to actually getting put up there. I've heard good things about Sully. So
surprised Tom Hanks wasn't nominated.
Yeah,
because he's kind of gotten to that Meryl Streep upper epsilon where anything he's in, he just gets nominated for.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Yeah, I think the acting categories, like you mentioned earlier, were so stacked this year. It was hard for him to make it. I am a little bit shocked that, I guess not too shocked, but Silence and Martin Scorsese pretty much got nothing in this.
That really, it did it really technically come out? It technically came out last year, but it's like it hasn't been.
Yeah,
it doesn't really. That's like it's so weird for like movies that come out in like December and January. It's like, does it really count? Or like, I really want to see Silence because like I love Martin Scorsese, so like I want to see what that movie's about. I've heard it's really good.
It's absolutely an interesting movie, and another one is Nocturnal Animals. I think could have been on this list, and I think it could have replaced Hidden Figures. Hidden Figures I thought was like fairly mediocre. As far as the story goes, the acting performances were fine, and the story itself, going back into history, looking at these women, was cool. But the movie was put together in a not very interesting way.
But it doesn't matter what we think about the movies because if it were up to us, Spotlight would not have been even close to being nominated last year. So, and it won.
Yeah, Spotlight was boring. Hopefully, they don't pick a boring movie.
Spotlight wasn't realistic.
That's what it is. It has to be realistic.
Well, no, it was based on a true story.
Just kidding.
It felt like I was watching robots.
So you weren't a fan of last year's Best Picture, but I guess we'll start with you. Do you have your number one pick for this year's 89th Academy Awards Best Picture winner?
Arrival. Arrival was my favorite. We said that in the last show. I think it should win. What I think was made very well, I could say Manchester. I could say Moonlight. I could say La La Land. I could even say Hell or High Water. If I were to rank my favorites of these, it would be Arrival and then Hell or High Water, but I don't think either of them is going to win. Mm-hmm. I would be shocked if one of them win and super happy, but I don't think that's the case.
So for me, all of these different categories are like puzzle pieces, and the Best Picture for me is the movie that puts all these pieces together in an excellent way. So a movie that had incredible directing and editing and acting and music and cinematography for me was La La Land. So I think of this list, La La Land hits every category exceptionally. So it was the Best Picture for me. I enjoyed it the most too out of all these. It was my favorite on last episode. So I'm really hoping La La Land takes it. I think it deserves it. Damien Chazelle is a young up-and-coming director, and this would really boost his career a lot. Mikey?
I want Arrival to win. It's not going to win. It's probably not going to. Here's the thing that's weird about the Best Picture thing. There's stuff that we think is going to win, and we're pretty sure it's going to win. But then sometimes out of nowhere, it's just a smack in the face, and something comes out of nowhere, and it's just
Donald
like
Trump ends up winning.
Yeah,
right?
like even like Spotlight, something like I didn't think that was going to win last year. I mean, I didn't see it, but like it's weird, like because there's like I said, it's what we want to win, and what we think is going to win, or what should win. It's all different things, but then sometimes out of nowhere, it's just as something like not something that doesn't have a lot of recognition, but I feel like sometimes the Best Picture gets picked because it's something that should get recognized or in a way. But I mean, I think it's gonna be La La Land, but like I said, I have no idea. I want it to be Arrival, but I think it's gonna be La La Land.
Yeah, I think La La Land definitely.
But because that's the thing, because like those two movies are split between all of the other awards for me. Like, there's not one where it's like all of them in one and then the other. But I don't know. I feel like it's something's gonna just come in. Lion, it's gonna win.
Steve, are you on the La La Land train or?
I'm on the Lion train.
Yeah. All right. That's 4 for Lion.
From what I've been reading, the two front runners for this one is La La Land and Moonlight.
I feel like it might. Fair. Wait, Moonlight won Golden Globes, right?
Yeah, they both won. They both
the
Golden Globes.
Okay, I could go along and say I think it's probably going to be Moonlight that might win, but anyway, who knows? Anyway, Steve.
I think it's going to be La La Land personally because Hollywood loves movies about Hollywood.
Yeah, that's another thing I was doing.
But hey, at least Arrival got nominated. That was pretty cool.
Would that have been your pick if you were picking?
If it were me, I don't know because between Arrival because La La Land was pretty impressive, but Arrival made me think.
Like, which was your favorite of these
same
movies?
Thing.
I'm gonna go Arrival.
Arrival?
Yeah.
So that is a good point tough. Tim brings up. We did our favorites of the year last week. Do you, Steve and Mike, have a favorite movie of 2016 that may or may not have been included in this list?
Steve, you can go first. Give me a second. Give me a second.
Nocturnal Animals, definitely.
Wow.
I really like Nocturnal Animals. Like, that was, like, I did not expect to walk out of that movie liking it that much.
What'd you think of that opening?
It was an opening.
That definitely caught me off guard. But I do agree. Nocturnal Animals was I think my top 4 or 5 movies of this year. It was actually caught me from left field or whatever that term is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, if Nocturnal Animals was just the movie within a movie, it probably would have hit my top 5. I wasn't a huge fan of the stuff around it, but I see it. I see why people like it for sure.
The Frankie
I finally hit my knee on this damn thing.
It's a rite of passage.
I know. I was I'm so worried that I'm just gonna knock one of these pots over or whatever. But whatever.
Now you're one of us.
One of us. One of us.
Google gobble. One of us.
Calm down, Jesus Christ.
Wrong year.
There was a lot of movies that I really liked last year. I mean, none I would think be worth talking about. I mean, I really love Nice Guys. That was my favorite movie. Like, it's weird. Like I was telling him before, like I have like a weird guilty pleasure with buddy cop movies. Yeah. Like, I don't know why. Like that's why I also really loved Zootopia, because Zootopia is kind of the similar way of like two people who come from very different, and then they come together and try to do something. That's why I loved That's why I watched Rush Hour growing up like 7,000 times, and then my parents wanted to kill me because all I wanted to do was watch Rush Hour.
Did you want to be a cop with a buddy?
I wanted to be Jackie Chan. I wanted to do my own stunts. But
was Deadpool high up there for you too?
Deadpool was my favorite comic book movie of last year. It's weird that everything that went into that movie, I think, really needed to be recognized at least, because especially just from the marketing and the advertising and just I think it was a great movie, and I thought it was very well made. I'm a little worried about the sequel, but don't know. It's got a good guy directing it, so I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
But I was kind of surprised, especially after all the stuff. They made that weird video for the Oscar Deadpool. They made that weird Ryan. I forgot what his name. Ryan Reynolds made that video or something, and then
the Valentine's Day one.
No, the one for this. They made if it got an Oscar nominated or whatever. That was just alone. I was like, this is great.
We'll check that one out and link it in the description.
That one's cool.
But this was definitely a weaker year for blockbusters, I thought. Steve, do you have a favorite blockbuster? Or even you, Tim, if you want to jump in afterwards.
Blockbuster?
Like a bigger budget movie, superhero movie.
Deadpool was definitely my favorite of the comic book movies.
Also Star Wars. That was huge.
Star Wars was pretty good. But blockbuster, because Hawiar, you're right. This year wasn't really that good for blockbusters.
It was bad for blockbusters.
Yeah, especially the summer was.
I don't think so.
Especially since Independence Day really crapped the bed.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I have it. I still have yet to watch it.
Jason Bourne, Suicide Squad, Batman vs Superman.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. The last 2 weeks, I just have a stack of Blu-rays of movies that I missed over the whole year, and then it's just it's been mixed feelings and some stuff. But yeah,
I'd say the one blockbuster that was in my top 10 was Civil War. I thought it was really fun to watch, excellent. But my second favorite blockbuster is one that a lot of people didn't like, very underappreciated in my opinion. X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah.
It was, it's my guilty pleasure for sure. I understand it's not great, but I loved watching it. I thought the ending was one of the best action movie endings I've ever seen. People disagree, that's fine, but I really loved all the action in the movie and a lot of the characters.
Actually, now that you mention that, there's one that I just thought of that I was actually kind of surprised that wasn't at least mentioned or even nominated for something like production or set design was, did you guys see the Warcraft movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think everything that went into production-wise. What the heck is that noise?
Sorry about that.
I was like, what is happening?
Billy Joe Armstrong invading the podcast. But I'll let him on though.
but yeah, like a lot of like I think the best part of obviously I really like the movie. I thought it's actually probably the best video game movie that has been made. I mean, some people could argue against it, but like
there aren't a lot of good.
There's obviously not a lot of competition, but like for what went into that movie, I think it's actually has the most budget for a video game movie. I think it was like $170 million, I think, or something like that. But I thought the way that movie was like put together, especially the motion capture, like you really don't see a lot of good motion capture at all, like since probably like Avatar, but like everything that went into like especially like all the CG work, which I was really worried about, it was actually really well done. Like I was actually surprised it didn't get at least more recognition. It's obviously probably because it's a video game movie and nobody cares about video game movies anymore really, but yeah, that was one I was actually kind of surprised with because I thought everything that went into the production of that movie I thought was really, really well done.
Definitely interesting point. Everyone at home, we've overstayed our welcome a bit, so we're going to cut the podcast off here. We thank you for watching. Tim and I are going to put our box office predictions for this weekend in the description. We'll continue on with those scoring next week. Again, we'd like to thank Mike Giampiccolo for coming here. Mike, can they find you anywhere on the interwebs, or would you like?
Yeah, I mean, you could. I have a Twitter. It's at MikeGista, Gista. You could. And I mean, I have an Instagram, same shit. I mean, whatever. I'm not that popular. Who's gonna follow? Who gives a crap about me? But
maybe some people now.
I mean,
gonna get some fans.
You could have some fans tonight.
Hi, Mom.
Like thank Steve for joining the show. You guys can check him out at Steve Garcia Art, which we'll link to. Anything else,
Steve? I can't. I haven't. You guys have seen him this whole time. I haven't seen him at all.
Really? You haven't seen me at all?
Well, no, I haven't. They have because they have the computer in front of them. I haven't seen what you. I also haven't seen you in like 15 years.
Yeah,
Mike
true too.
gets a nice view of the couch. But yeah, Steve was looking dapper. We'd like to thank him. Tim, good job tonight. I think you're getting promoted to co-host.
All right.
But again, thank you very much for watching Consider This Movie Show. Say goodnight, Tim.
Good night, Tim.
Oh crap.